Hi, my name is Kevin James. I want to make a video about my submuscular ulnar nerve transposition that I had done yesterday. And I'm making this video because when I was trying to find video blogs of some people who had had this done to know what I was in for, what to expect, I found a lot of videos of subcutaneous ulnar nerve transpositions, people that had had those done, but I can only find a couple videos of people that had had submuscular ulnar nerve transpositions on YouTube there. So I wanted to make this one so I could see, or so I could show some people, how this is, and maybe help somebody who's going to go through this surgery to know what to expect. So the difference in a subcutaneous ulnar nerve transposition, in that one they're taking your ulnar nerve, which runs behind, your elbow here through your medial epicondyle, and they're moving it up to a shorter path, less restricted path right here, but they're keeping it under the skin. Not below the muscle, so it's held in place by usually some fascia tissues. They put straps in there, kind of sew it in, to hold it in place, and it's right there. My doctor did not believe I was a candidate for that because my arms are lean. My surgeon wanted to do it below the muscle because he felt like underneath my arms that it would get, if it's right on the skin, it would get bumped a lot. There wasn't anything to really cushion it. So he wanted to do a submuscular ulnar nerve transposition, which is where they're still moving the ulnar nerve up, but as they go up here, they're going to cut into the muscle and kind of bury that into the muscle and then sew that back up. So submuscular has a longer recovery time because there's more cutting in the muscles and a little bit more cutting in the surgery as well. So don't know what your surgeon recommended. That's just the way my surgeon went. He recommended that, so I said, okay, doc, let's do it. I'll cover the pain and procedure and stuff first because I'm sure that's what a lot of you guys are here to see, and then I'll kind of talk to you about after that what led me to this path, and that way you can stop watching if you want to at that point once you find out what to expect from the surgery. But I had this surgery yesterday about 11. It was April 28th, 11 o'clock. It is general anesthesia. And surgery took about 50 minutes. I think I was blocked out for. I woke up at 1:25. Didn't leave the hospital or the operating area till it's probably 3:30, something like that, because I had a little trouble not coming out of anesthesia, but I was kind of a little groggy in my head still. My stomach wasn't feeling real good, so they gave me another shot for nauseous, and they wanted me to say so, and the shot for being nauseous and really helped me there at the end, and I was able to leave about 3:30, and wife drove me home and stuff. So anyways, not honestly on pain, very minimal pain right now, I would say, for this type of procedure. It's much less than I expected. I expected more pain than this. It is uncomfortable in your shoulder mostly, honestly, because I'm holding this sling and cast and stuff, so that's been uncomfortable to sleep, to find a good position. But as far as the pain did not keep me up. The pain is not constantly bothering me. I've had since yesterday at 11, and it is now the next day, it's April 29th at 9:45. I have had exactly 4 ibuprofen for my pain medication. They prescribed me Norco, it says, hydrocodone and acetaminophen, I think that is. I haven't taken any. I don't plan to take any. I don't want to take any. I don't like taking those high-powered narcotic pain medications. If I can keep from it, I will not take it. But like I said, so far just four ibuprofen is what I've had. And I know it's there, pain-wise. I can feel it at the incision point and stuff like that, but it's not bad. And it may get worse. I may be updating this a couple of days saying I took some. If it gets bad, I'll take them. I'm not going to be stubborn like that, but so far I haven't had to. I can wiggle my fingers right now, so I'm wiggling my fingers here, and got good movement there. One thing I did do earlier that I probably shouldn't have done, I felt like my fingers were like sticking together. I kind of had this funny feeling, so I took my other fingers and kind of put them in between them, and that made it feel pretty tight in there. Like I felt a real tightness. Not necessarily like a sharp pain, but I was like, ooh, I don't want to do that anymore. But I felt it more like up in here in my arm. It'd be like up in there. So probably just stretching those muscles out. So I'm not going to do that anymore. But wiggling my fingers, they said, was good. Moving them around, and that doesn't really change how things feel at all in terms of the pain in there. It doesn't cause any pain or anything. to do that. So I figure that's a good thing to do. I am in this cast, so they put me in a cast. It's about a half cast. Well, I mean, it's a splint, I should say. About a half cast. It goes up to here and goes clear down, wraps around my wrist here, so I can't supinate or pronate that arm. And it is open on the front side. I can tell by feeling around. It's all open there on the front. Obviously, I don't want to cover the incision point and stuff like that, but it just is keeping it there. Then, of course, all wrapped in ace bandage at that point, or wrapped in ace bandage. I mean, after that, that will not come off for 2 weeks. I have an appointment May 13th to have this taken off, and go from there. So that's talking about the pain. I'll talk about recovery a little bit, what I'm going to expect, and then move into what led me to do this. So they told me recovery-wise, I'll be in this for 2 weeks. And then at that point, May 13th, I'll go in and they will take off the bandage, take off the splint, and the dressing off the wound, off the incision. And I'd be free at that point to move my arm, however it's comfortable to move my arm. I'd start some therapy after that, some rehab type therapy stuff. But he said no weight at that point, absolutely no weight bearing, just maybe hold a shirt, he said, with my hand or whatever, but don't hold anything else with it, just move it around. I'm like that for about 4 weeks, I think, which would take me into early June. June 9th, I think, is the date I've got, if I count out 6 weeks. He said at that point I'd be released to maybe some more lifting, but not fully released. So a light weight. I don't know what that number will be. I have no idea, but it's not going to be full. So I won't be working out or lifting anything heavy, full release for work and that kind of stuff for a while. I am a PE teacher, so elementary PE teacher. So I use my arms a lot, but I can teach like this. I got a buddy that can help me set stuff up, that kind of stuff. Kids can help me pick stuff up and things. So I can get by that way. I do drive school bus as well. I can't do that right now, obviously, so I'm out of that. I'm a substitute driver. So I'm out of that for a couple weeks at least. Once I start moving my arm, I think I'll probably be able to drive the bus once I can get to where I can move my arm, freely, because I'm not lifting anything with that or anything like that, I'm just pushing some buttons and things and turning the wheel. But we'll see how I feel at that point. But during the summer, I do work summer maintenance at the school. So I'm used to lifting a lot of stuff in the summer, moving stuff with my arms. That's going to really hinder me. I get paid for that, obviously. It's something I like to do. I really enjoy it. It's a 6 a.m. job every morning, 6 to 2. But it gives me something to do, and I really enjoy the people I work with. I'm not going to be able to do that as much as I want to. Maybe not at all. I don't know. I may be knocked out of that. So that sucks. Lose a little bit of income there and lose something to do, but surgery need to be done. We'll talk about that in a little bit, why it need to be done. So after those 4 weeks of that, like I said, he determined to lose. He said I may not be released full on, totally no weight restrictions, anything, until maybe July. That'd be like 3 months after the surgery. And then at that point, you take off all weight restrictions. I could lift what I want, do what I want, be full go. But it's going to be a while. So that's going to be tough. But hey, one step at a time, I guess you'd say, right? So what led me to this was losing muscle in my left hand. I was losing muscle in my left hand, my interosseous muscle, one of my interosseous muscles between my thumb and forefinger there. When you bring your thumb in and kind of squeeze, you can see that muscle on your own hand kind of come out and bulge and move a little bit. That muscle was essentially gone in my left hand, had gone away. And it's still there, but it's very deep inside there. If I do this with my left hand, instead of bulging out, I get an indentation right there. It indents. So that led me to say, hey, something's going on here. What's going on? So I went to a surgeon in January. I noticed that in December. Went to a doctor in January, and he right away said, hey, cubital tunnel syndrome, we need to operate. And he said I got both arms. Went for a neurology test, and the neurologist did not confirm that. The neurologist said, that's not what we see here. And you can read and know the neurology tests are wrong 15-20% of the time. You can see that on there. And doctor did say that, but he's like, hey, let's look at some other things here. And so I went for, he assigned a MRI on my head and neck, a bunch of blood work and stuff. That didn't find any reason for my muscle loss in my left hand, which is good. You don't want to find anything major in that, and it didn't find anything like that. So went back to the surgeon. He says, hey, or I didn't actually go back to that surgeon, sorry. I kind of didn't know what to do there. I let it ride for a couple months. Went to a chiropractor. Thought maybe, he might have an idea. I don't know, chiropractors see things different. He told me, after taking some x-rays and stuff, he goes, I really can't help you. I live in Washington, Illinois. He recommended going to Midwest Orthopedic over in Peoria, which is 10 minutes or so away from me. And he said, go over there. And so a woman that I work with at the school, her husband is a rehab therapist at Midwest Orthopedic. So I asked her who the best hand doctor is there at Midwest Ortho. And she said Dr. James Williams is who is the best hand doctor. She texted her husband. He got back to her and told her that. So I made an appointment with Dr. Williams and saw him. And right away he confirmed, yep, you got cubital tunnel syndrome in that arm. We're seeing a lot of atrophy in your left hand. He pointed out that the muscles on top of my left hand, my other interosseous muscles, were not as strong as my right hand and were weakening and going away. And he said, I know what the neurology test says, but he said, I think we need to do this ASAP. He said, I do have subluxation in my right arm too. It's subluxing, but I don't have as much nerve pain. In my left arm, I had a lot of nerve pain up here. Nerve pain up here in my left arm, right in this spot, right there. And, pain, I should say. Turns out it was nerve pain. Doctor said it was compressed there, but it was just pain. And I didn't think it was muscle pain. I thought it could be golfer's elbow. I don't golf, but they call that golfer's elbow. They said it could be there, but I think it was nerve pain. But I don't have that pain in this right arm. It is subluxing, but I don't have any muscle atrophy in my right hand. So he said at this point, let's watch that right hand, make sure there's nothing ever happens to it. If it starts to lose muscle, we'll have to address it, but right now it's good, and I don't have the pain there. But so doctor said, let's get this surgery scheduled. Like I said, he wanted to do the submuscular, so he did that on my arm there. Now, wanted to get it done quickly because he said if a muscle loses its stimulation for 18 months, it is not going to come back if it loses its muscle stimulation for 18 months. He believes my muscle on my left hand is still getting stimulation. It's just not getting full stimulation. So he's hoping that we can get this done in time. No guarantees, obviously he doesn't know, but he's hoping we can get it done in time. That muscle will start to maybe make some comeback and start to see that comeback at some point. But at least maybe I wouldn't lose, as much function in between my fingers and stuff as maybe I was on the path to losing if I didn't do anything about it. Because my left hand is still very functional right now. I still was doing everything I needed to do. It limited me some here and there if I, holding things a certain way, but I could do things I needed to do. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse, and hopefully it does get better actually, but we'll see. Because, once you get this done, it's not just a magic, okay, the nerve's decompressed, you're right on down, you're ready to go. It takes, he said the nerve regenerates 1 to 2 centimeters a month. So, it takes a long time to get from your elbow down to your hand, and so he said we're fighting that race of how quickly my nerve regenerates to see there. So I guess I've covered the recovery time for you that they gave to me. Like I said, talked about the pain, talked about what led me here to do this. So hopefully this helps somebody. I plan on making these videos maybe every couple of days, and after that, a week or two, weekly maybe, to just show you how I'm doing on those. How I'm progressing, and get to the point where so if you are having the surgery done submuscularly, maybe this helps you, gives you something to look at. This video is longer than the other ones will be. I'm kind of long-winded on this, but being the first one, I guess I wanted to kind of cover all the bases on what's going on here with this. But don't be afraid of the pain. I guess I'd say to you at the end, if you have watched this all the way to the end, don't be afraid of the pain, because like I said, I would call mine much less than I expected, honestly. Now, bear in mind, that could change. Keep that in mind. I'm not, that could change. I'm 23 hours out from the surgery now. So, I'm sure they shot a lot of nerve block and stuff in there. That stuff could be wearing off. But so far, just 4 ibuprofen, and I'm able to get comfortable and things like that. And, we'll see how it goes from there. So, hope this helps, and have a good one. Bye.